Do you want to learn how to do roofs in Rhino CAD? From hip roofs to conventional roofs, this video will show you how it's done. Getting into it, this is a house project I did a couple years ago, back in 2018, I guess, and it shows you a hip roof drawn in Rhino. And when you're working in architecture, these kinds of three-dimensional roofs can be very helpful, not just for showing clients or renderings or to the bank, but also to the truss companies that will design the truss package for the house. You can give them these shapes. You've already figured out what you want in 3D, and from there they can use that as a starting point. So this is just showing a conventional hip style roof like we have in Florida. It's best for the wind mitigation and lower insurance. Has a lot of features in it, but definitely the software is more than capable of taking these things on. And then this is just showing another rendering of a barn with just conventional roofing on it. This one has, textures and colors applied just so you can see some of the photorealism. It could be refined even further, but goes to show you, what can be done with this software. So we did a previous video on block course, and I guess we can start off with using that as a base for showing you how this works for very simple items. So getting into it with the commands here. Actually, since this was done on block course, let's just make this an 8-foot tall building for where the wall height will be. So we'll grab any block and we'll go up by 96. Actually, 96 minus 8 would be 88. And of course, I hold the shift button down. Let's see here. So we're going to go check the height. I didn't like that. Let's see here. Transform drafting, linear dimension. Of course, this is Rhino 8 I'm on. We'll just do a linear dimension. That's fine. It's a little tricky to grab the right thing of what you're going for. You might need to go to a different, like a side view. Let's see, that's the top. No, that's a good view. 96, yeah. So it's an 8-foot high structure basically at this point in 3 dimensions. You can do this with free lines or whatever you want to do. And just out of curiosity, got to check some things here. Yep, there is a line there. So hopefully we can grab that. And it goes all the way around. So this was the perimeter line we drew earlier in that other video. We'll just take this and go up 96 with it. Now the reason I did 88 before is the block's already 8 inches tall. If we move it up 8 feet, which is 96 inches, it would actually be above where we want our, basically what they call plate height. So this is just showing the basic structure. And on here, we're going to start drawing a, let's do a 312 pitch. We'll start from the corner here and then get into a view that shows us that door. There we go. So one trick, so that's the front view. So if you look, this thing is hovering right on X and Y equals 0, and then Z is at 96 up. So going back to it, as we draw things on here, it's going to stay planar to the surface using the normal commands. So Rhino and the sketch commands kind of works in 3-dimensional space, so something to keep in mind. Let's see here. So we're going to do a relative at 12, comma 3. So it's over 12 up 3. So now that's the start of a 312 roof pitch, just showing you right there. And how these are constructed is it always has a 2x4, usually, especially in Florida, has a 2x4 at the roof pitch that you want. It goes right over the top of the wall. And we'll get that going here, just with everything with real dimensions. So you don't want to do this because this would be shifting it up. You want to use an offset command. Offset 3.5 for our distance. There we go. So that is a 2x4 slanted at 312 roof pitch. And then let's just say we got 5/8 roof sheathing. So we can go again, repeat command offset 5/8. And now we have all that. Now the next thing we're going to want is, and we want to try to highlight that first line we did. We'll come down and we're going to do a 2-foot offset, which is pretty normal. Depending on what kind of softening materials you use, this will affect this in architecture. So Hardy Plank has panels that are 2 feet wide, and you can use that under your soffit as one option. Or with stucco, it's also available in wire mesh with tar paper behind it, and they'll just staple that up and apply stucco into the structure. So let's see here. Go minus 24. So this is showing all like the soffit area. We'll make it a little bit taller with the gumball. And we're going to do an extend just to see what things are going to look like here. So it's important to get this cross section correct first. Let's see here. So this is going to be 24 inches out without cutting, and then you're going to have something like a rim board made by Hardy Plank or Allura. They have things like that. Those can be about 3/4 of an inch. So we'll go at this again and do minus 0.75. And then the roof will actually go a little bit past that. So let's get into that next section here in the next step. All right, continuing on here with our roof demo. So we have that trim board on the end, and let's see here. Usually the sheathing ends right after that. So we're going to do another extend. And let's see here. Plywood, just to show you some more commands. Rotate. And we're going to take the bottom where the plywood meets the 2x4s. And we will rotate it by 90 degrees. Whoops, I did a mistake. Do that again. We're going to hit yes on copy the rotation. That's why it disappeared. So now we have a squared off ends for what the plywood really is. This is kind of getting into the weeds, but CAD systems allow you to get into this level of detail without, challenges. So let's see here. We have all that. And then this also helps you with your offsets and everything. Let's see here. We just want to wrap up the trim. Trim this. And we're going to do offset by 5.5 inches, which would be what they call a 1x6 trim board on the end. Let's see, 5.5 for the offset. Down. All right, so we're going to trim this stuff. And that. Trim. That hangs down a little bit. Depending on who your truss manufacturer is, you can get this kicked up where you don't have so much hanging down. We'll just bring this over. Maybe kick this up by 1 inch and go 3.5 since we're sitting orthogonally to the X, Y, and Z's. We'll trim it. So this is showing you what like the roof structure could look like. And then of course with your Hardy plank, that's 5/16 minus 5/16. So this is like a full cross section of showing how everything works in this detail. So that's usually where you want to start. And we are missing, we need to get to a center line on this stuff. So let's see here, let's get that going. We'll take a look at that. So I just drew a midline in the back over there, and we'll start off with just conventional roof. Let's see here, we're going to do a move. And we can go from here to there. Because the back of this structure is a continuous line, it allows me to snap to midpoint. So that's what's going on there. And we're going to do an extend. So there's the whole roof structure. And we're going to start off with a conventional, just a conventional roof, just to show how this works. So we're going to go surface, and we can use sheet bodies with this. It's just fine. You can also go solids, but you know, the truss companies and any kind of renderings you would do, it doesn't really matter if it's solid or sheets. Just doing a real quick thing right here. And it's going in both directions. So we're going to go both sides yes to both sides no. And we'll go all the way over here to the end. So now we got a roof structure that shows the outside of it, and we're going to want to have it stick out a foot on each end. So we're going to need that dimension, which is it's a 136-inch long building, and we want a foot on each side. So pulling it up a calculator. 136 plus 12 plus 12. So it's 160 over 136 will be our scaling factor. So we can go over here and we can scale just by clicking the scale and end 136 by 160. And I did that backwards. Let's check that at once. Okay, so it's 160 over 136. There we go. So now we got a 1 foot overhang on each side, and we can mirror this to the other side. This is just quick and dirty. And this one's a little more self-explanatory. I don't think I did that right. We'll go to a front view here. There you go. There's your 312 pitch with the 2 foot overhang on the roof, showing you how all that works. But we'll back it up a couple steps, showing you how the hip roof works. So we'll go back and we'll re-extrude this. Just readjusting my space mouse here. We want to be able to trim all these features. Sure, we'll work with that. And we'll extrude it to the same position as before. But now this time we'll just freehand scale it, drag and pull. So we're going to make a hip roof now. And we're going to have to get a center point or center rotation line. Just right there, go diagonally. And we can just move this line right here from the end to the midpoint. Okay, so now we got a pivoting axis, and we can do a rotate command. And we'll go to the top view. So we're locked on an orthogonal direction, this case going down, right, top, and left. And we'll go take a look at it. So now we have all our roof pieces here, and we can go into the trim command. So just go in here, and you could probably reduce these steps without, like, trim it first, then rotate it, what have you. But just showing the beginners, you know, getting used to the commands. And again, Rhino is very intuitive with, like, the last command is literally a right mouse button click to bring it back. So we have all that, and we got this trim board on the end. We got something funny in there. Oh, that's the very edge of the plywood, which is, you know, normally treated with some sort of piece of trim metal or something like that. And I'll go to the bottom. I'll deal with the bottom in a different way. and that, because these ones are flat. We'll show you that in a second here. But yeah, like we can do like a crossing window and zap these, escape to get out of it, and then right click for the trim, highlight everybody. I'll go to the last one. So if you're doing like a valley intersection, it's similar idea, but it's just run in reverse. So now we got to trim these corners here. And I gotta have the line working. All right, so we have that, and we're going to do a surface extrude. This one we do want to go both sides. And try to extend edge. Not sure if that's a, let's just see if this works here. Yeah, there's like an extend to edge or something like that kind of command. But this will definitely trim these sheets. So let's try a trim. So now it'd be like a miter cut there on that piece of hardy plank soffit trim. That's how this little guy to get rid of if you wanted it miter cut. Let me try that EXTENDS extend surf. So it's EXTENDSRF. That's the command I'm pretty sure I was looking for. And then this is like a pole. I went to the next one, but I think we can click on it. We can tell it to go like 5. So it had extended it out by 5 inches. This is planar stuff. So it's going to keep it going in a normal trajectory. We'll try it over here too. And because 5 was the last entry in there, it's going to copy it. So let's see here. We're going to do a mirror about you from the top. What did that do for us? Okay, so that worked correctly. That's a very unusual command with what it's trying to do. Here, let's see, we can see him right here. Ortho, there we go. Ortho off and 3D again. So now we have our trim sheets on everything. So now we can do a trim. And we'll just grab those trim sheets again. So I can do everything in one pass. Let's see here. And the command is you click on your trim sheets first, then you right click, and then you click on the trim. I'll show that here just so how it's going. So right click again to trim. So I want this sheet to be my trimming surface, and then what do you want to trim? It's a right click, and that will let you select these pieces. And now we're going to want to hide these things just because you might need them later. So with Rhino, using layers is very helpful. Sure, let's use the green. Change object layer, and we'll hide it. So there we go. There's our roof on our building. And let's see here, shaded. And you can apply rendered surfaces to these things as well, but hopefully that explains how it works, how you can, and usually everything is on a 45-degree cut, viewed from the top for using like mirror or rotate commands. And then you also saw how you can bring in things like these trim surfaces and use it to trim multiple objects. going over that. So let's see here, jumping back to this one, you got valleys, which would be basically the same thing running in reverse. And even on this one, you can see how we did block course just to set a true wall length on the 8-inch cinder block grid. We have things like, doors in this or windows wherever we wanted to break for whatever reason, and built from there. So you're getting a honest and true structure. And you can see we're not running the cinder blocks all three-dimensionally. It's just to, help with the plan form. And then looking at this barn here, they got various materials you can apply to make it look more like a standing seam roof. You can even model that and pattern it. Rhino's really good at patterning a structure or a surface. Let's see here. So yeah, that's our simple roof in Rhino. So hopefully that'll help you with your architectural projects. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully we can reach more DIYers, people that like to jump into CAD, and especially anyone running Rhino. This is just simple methods to show you how to make these kind of features and things like roofs or walls. Best of luck.